Welcome back, y'all. Let's quickly recap what happened last episode. We unlocked what was possibly the most useful anvil in all of Gielinor, helped a squire avoid all responsibility for losing his boss's most prized possession, and got pulled into several mysteries along the way. A lot has happened since then. While editing my last two videos, I managed to get 60 woodcutting, 49 fishing, and 33 smithing. I also made myself this killer set of full iron armor and leveled up my melee stats a bit by getting revenge for Thurgo's ancestors. Now I know what you're thinking, why not have an iron full helm or an iron kite shield if those are statistically better? Well, my answer to that is the medium helm and the square shield just look cooler. So yeah, we're sticking with those ones. Anyways, this episode I think I want to try to answer some of the questions that have been gnawing at me since the end of last episode. I'll toss them up on screen real quick in case anyone wants to see. And afterwards, I think I want to try doing Vampire Slayer since it's the next quest up in the Slayer series. As far as mysteries go, I think I'm going to start with this one right here since I'm already at the location. Now, I noticed that there's this NPC in Barbarian Village you can talk to, and she doesn't ever seem to wander away from the hole, so I assume she's related to this hole. I guess let's hit her up and see if she has anything interesting to say. Hello there, you look lost. Are you okay? I think that's the first barbarian that doesn't just immediately go, do you want to scrap with me? I feel like if I hit option 2 here, nothing's gonna happen. I guess option 1. I'm looking for a stronghold or something. Ah, the stronghold of security. It's down there, okay. Litara points to the hole in the ground that looks like you could squeeze through. Looks kind of deep and dark. Yeah, tell that to my brother. He still hasn't come back. Your brother? He's an explorer too. When the miner fell down that hole he made and came back babbling about doors, questions, and treasure. Ooh, treasure. My brother went to explore. No one has seen him since. Oh, that's not good. Lots of people have been down there, but none of them have seen him. Let me know if you do, will you? I'll certainly keep my eyes open. Okay, so looks like there's possibly some treasure down here, and this poor girl's dead brother. It doesn't look like this is actually a quest or something. I don't see like a marker on the world map, so I guess this is kind of like a mini quest. Let's find out. There's a dead body right here. It's got a weird looking hat. Kind of reminds me of like Link or something from the Zelda games. Let's go ahead and search this guy's body. You rummage around in the dead explorer's bag. You find a book of handwritten notes. Okay, let's see. Oh geez, this looks kind of long. I'll probably just put a timestamp so people can skip this. The stronghold was unearthed by a miner prospecting for new ores around the Barbarian Village.
A few moments later.
I have dubbed this level War, as it seems like an eternal battleground. I found only one small peaceful area here. Level 2. Wait, how many levels are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we see them on the world map? Okay, so this must be the peaceful area that the journal was referring to. And there's a link to another area with something in the center. Okay, so that must be level 3. This must be level 2, and I assume this is level 4. And it looks like at the center of all the areas there's some sort of clearing. Oh, maybe that's like the treasure that the notebook and the woman above were talking about. Anyways, let's get back to this.
8 hours later.
The portals may be used if you are of sufficient level or have already claimed your reward from the treasure room. Okay, that's pretty useful. Diary. Oh geez, how long is this? Day 1.
5 minutes later.
I was wounded and have returned to the relative safety of the level above. I'm going to try to make my way out through the goblins and man-cow things. I hope I make it. Okay, whatever. I think I kind of get the gist of this place. So it seems like there are a bunch of security doors, and at the end of this maze-like structure on every level, there's some sort of gift or treasure, and it seems like the best treasure is probably going to be on the final level. I'm excited to see what this place holds for us. Like, hopefully we get a solid gear upgrade or something. Greetings, adventurer. This place is kept safe by the spirits within the doors. As you pass through, you will be asked questions about security. Hopefully, you will learn much from us. About security? What do they mean about security? Okay, whatever. Please pass through and begin your adventure. Beware of the various monsters that dwell within. Oh, there are goblins here. And they're significantly higher level than the ones that are in Goblin Village. I wonder if they drop different loot or something. I guess we'll have to come back here eventually. Alright, let's see. I want to go east, north, east, south. Looks like these are the minotaurs that the journal mentioned. To pass, you must answer me this. What do I do if my account account is compromised. Oh my god, is this a secure account kind of place that they put into the game? Like that's what they mean by Stronghold of security? They mean literal account security? That would be kind of lame. I mean, I get why they might do it, but damn, I was really expecting some cool lore. Anyways, post on social media about it, secure my device and reset my password. Jesus. Okay, so if this is what the doors say, I don't think I'm actually going to narrate the dialogue out loud because pretty sure no one wants to hear that. And these are the spiky chains that I guess take you back to the beginning of the level. All right, so it looks like that's what all of these doors do. Basically just warn you how not to get scammed. I mean, I guess this would have been pretty useful for 8-year-old me. Okay, so we are already at the first treasure room, and considering that this is like a account safety kind of place, I'm guessing that there's not going to be, I don't know, I'm assuming this is going to be like some cosmetic item or something. Let's find out. The box hinges creak and appear to be forming audible words. Congratulations, adventurer. You've been deemed worthy of this reward. You have also unlocked the flap emote. Okay, I get to chicken dance now. Cool. I guess we might as well finish this now that we're in the midst of it. I mean, I guess unlocking some emotes is kind of cool. There are some interesting creatures here that I've never seen before, like these flesh crawlers, and these giant rats are actually pretty powerful. I do wonder if the loot table for these monsters is significantly different than the default ones. All right, we're at treasure chest number 2. I'm assuming we're gonna get like another emote or something. The grain shifts in the sack, sighing audible words. Congratulations, adventurer. You have been deemed worthy of this reward. You have also unlocked the slap head emote. What reward? What are they even talking about? Holy shit, I have 5k. Wait, I think this just gave me a bunch of money. I don't think I brought... No, I definitely don't have 5k, or I definitely didn't start off with 5k. I'm pretty sure I started off with like 100 coins or something, so... Okay, so I guess maybe some of these are worth it? Let's find out on level 3. Oh, this one looks kind of funky. So I think those are the weird cow-sheep hybrids that the journal was talking about. Katabalpon. I do wonder if that's a thing in like regular mythology that I just don't know about. Alright, chest number 3. Let's see what this one has. The box hinges creak and appear to be forming audible words. Congratulations, adventurer. You have been deemed worthy of this reward. You have also unlocked the idea emote. Jeez, dude, 10k now? Okay. Yeah, never mind. I'm really glad that I stuck this through and didn't just exit after getting that first reward. Okay, so I'm guessing on this level I get like 20k or something. Oh, are these not aggressive? Holy crap, they're level 159. Dude, I bet you they drop some crazy loot though. So I see what looks like an explorer, and he's got Link's hat, or I'm pretty sure that's like a reference to Link's hat. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to him. Can you hear me? I can. Are you a ghost? I'm no ghost. I'm a spirit. I'm injecting my thoughts into your head. Oh, that's interesting and rather disturbing. Try not to think about it. Who are you? I am Solston, the greatest barbarian explorer. Okay, so this is probably the brother of the barbarian woman. It's very nice to meet you, Solston. I'm Tough-Build. So, you were exploring this place? Yes, my sister told me not to go. She said it was dangerous and that I'm no fighter. Unfortunately, she was correct. Oh, your sister is Latara, the woman out on the surface? How come she was correct? I died, you idiot. Of course, I tried escaping long before I'd made it to the treasure, but I was shot with arrows just as I approached the exit. Okay, that makes sense. That's why I found this guy's book on the first floor. Nobody came to help? Oh no, they had no idea I was hurt. I guess they assumed I had found the treasure and made a new life for myself. Were you not a fan of the barbarian lifestyle? It was all death and pillaging and killing in Camdo dwarves. I prefer the finer things in life, like exploration and discovery. Ah, I too enjoy those. Why are you here? I came for treasure. Oh right, you were looking for what's in that cradle? Yes, but alas, I'm dead. I guess I could show you for a price. I don't have much to offer, but if you happen upon a skull scepter, I could make it stronger. Stronger, you say? In what way? Currently, the scepter is fragile. It breaks once all charges have been used. Show me the treasure, and I can imbue it so that it can be recharged with any scepter piece. You, my dear friend, have a deal. So it looks like those are all the options, and it also looks like I should be on the lookout for a skull scepter and bring it to this guy if I ever find it. So I'm gonna write that down in my notes real quick. Alright, let's see what this cradle contains. I'm guessing it's like 10k more since, you know, the money seems to roughly double each time. As your hand touches the cradle, you hear a voice in your head, 1,000,000 dead adventurers. Welcome, adventurer. you have learned the value of securing your account, and you may claim your prize. You may claim these boots. They protect your feet equally, but they look very different. Okay, so not money, but they do look kind of cool. You can return here for more boots at any time or to get replacements if you lose them. The last one looks really cool, so I'm just gonna take those ones. Let's see if these are any better than the leather boots. Oh, it looks like they are. Okay, I mean, that's not money, but I'll take a gear upgrade for sure. And I guess we just go up through here. Okay, nice. Feel like we should probably tell Latara about her brother. I traveled to the bottom of the Stronghold and I emerged victorious. Well done. You didn't happen to find my brother, did you? About that, I sense bad news. It's okay. He's been gone so long. I believe I've moved on. Well, at least he died doing what he loved. True. I will raise a drink for him tonight. He was a good man, even if he was a pacifist. I like that their idea of moral goodness is positively correlated with how much violence and damage they inflict on other people. As will I. See you around, Latara. Goodbye, Tough-Pilled. Alright, cool. Honestly, pretty freaking solid. We got a ton of gold. I don't know how long it would have taken for us to make this manually, but that's fantastic. And we also got this sick looking pair of boots. So I'm definitely pretty pleased with this outcome. So the next thing that's kind of bothering me is where that monkey statue in Port Sarum was pointing to. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head on over there and try to figure out exactly which point on the map it's trying to direct me towards. I know it was facing west, but I didn't actually think of trying to draw a straight line all the way west until I encountered something interesting. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, so we're at the statue now, and if I just reorient my compass and I click on the world map, okay, let's see. If we go all the way west, do we run into anything interesting? Well, we run into this transportation thing. Doesn't look like when I click it, it tells me where it goes, so it could be that, but I'm not so sure. This also seems to cross paths with something called the Tower of Life, and that seems significantly more interesting. Seems like there's a quest we can start here, but it's members only. Maybe we'll take note of that. There's a dungeon that it crosses paths with, and it seems to also cross paths with something called the Tiamat, and it looks like there's a quest I can start here called the Heart of Darkness. It also seems to roughly cross paths with this, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, and there's another quest that we can start here as well, and that seems to be it. Okay, so I'm guessing that one of those locations that we came across, either this one or this one or this one, have to do with this statue. So if we do any of this, a genie event. Yeah, I'm going to put this towards prayer. So if we ever do any of those 3 quests and we're stuck or something, I will probably be heading back here to this monkey statue. So the next thing I want to figure out is what exactly is in Melzar's maze. Because last episode we talked to some guy called Malignius Mortifer, I think, and he mentioned that Melzar was some wizard that had gone mad and was no longer able to do necromancy, and we found a location on the map called Melzar's Maze. So yeah, I'm pretty curious what's in here. It looks like there are some zombie rats, so yeah, let's go ahead and see what's in Melzar's Maze. Oh, you need a key for this. I'm gonna look around the perimeter and see if I can find anything. Okay, so I found this ladder, but it doesn't seem I can climb up the ladder. Maybe I need a hammer to fix this or something. And I also see a trap door. I'm gonna try to enter this, and it looks like it can only be opened from below. Yeah, I don't think there's any other way to actually get into this maze except through the front door. So I guess another thing to keep in mind is if we ever find a key in the future out in the wild, we should probably test it on this door. And it might be worth coming back here with a hammer to fix the ladder as well. Actually, I think I'm going to do that right now because I really want to see what's in that maze. So I'm on my way to get a hammer from the Draynor Bank, and I just realized something. I think in episode 2, I mentioned that there used to be random events that would come and attack you just while you were out and about doing things. And I say used to because now I'm pretty confident that they no longer exist. So my original theory was that they were just exceedingly rare, but seeing as how I got all the way to level 60 woodcutting without ever running into the tree spirit random event, I'm pretty pretty sure that Jagex has just removed them from the game, which is a real shame because I was hoping that the Tree Spirit random event and the Rock Golem random event would be ways for me to upgrade my axe and pickaxe. And the reason why I was hoping that would happen was because it would kind of make sense for the Rock Golem to drop a pickaxe since it attacks you when you're mining, and the Tree Spirit to drop axes since it attacks players when they're chopping wood, right? So like, I don't know how high up the tiers go, but I would assume that you would have been able to kill either of those back in the day for like pickaxe or wood cutting axe upgrades. So kind of looks like I'm stuck with the steel axe for now, but hopefully we'll find a way to get around that in the future. Now, something else that I wanted to investigate while I was here was who exactly Miss Schism was talking about. She mentioned that I should talk to the bank guard right here to get more information. So yeah, it's time to follow up on the lead that Medieval TMZ gave us. Also, what the heck is this? Inconspicuous bush. Become a member. Okay. I feel like we've seen something kind of familiar already, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Anyways, let's talk to the bank guard and see what's up. Also, is it just me or does this tree kind of look weird? Oh, there's a person inside it. Okay, we're gonna have to check that one out after. Yes. That wall doesn't look very good. Yeah, that's true. Look, the wall is patched. No, it doesn't. Are you going to tell me what happened? I could do. Okay, go on. Someone smashed the wall when they were robbing the bank. Someone's robbed the bank? Yes, but was anyone hurt? Did they get anything valuable? Yes, but we were able to get more staff and mend the wall easily. The bank has already replaced all the stolen items that belong to customers. Oh, good. But the bank staff got hurt? Yes, but the new ones are just as good. Jeez, you're not very nice, are you? No one's expecting me to be nice. I just need to stand here and look menacing. Anyway, so someone's robbed the bank? Yes. Do you know who did it? We are fairly sure we know who the robber was. The security recording was damaged in the attack, but it still shows his face clearly enough. You've got a security recording? Yes. Our insurers insisted that we install a magical scrying orb. Can I see the recording? I suppose so, but it's quite long. That's okay. Show me the recording. I'm actually really curious. All right. The bank's magical playback device will feed the recorded images into your mind. Just shut your eyes. Oh, that's just like Brain Dance from Cyberpunk. That's really cool. Hey, get your hands off there. Was that supposed to be a player? Oh, geez. Oh, that must be the old man that Miss Schism was talking about. Damn, Gramps is really crashing out. Dude, I think it's kind of funny that the bank tellers tried to fight what appears to be a gray-bearded demigod by just punching him. Oh no, dude, the party hat. I'm pretty sure those are like super valuable too. Oh, right. Okay, wait, there's a spell called telekinetic grab in this game. I totally forgot about it until just now. Hold on a second, but isn't the wise old man like literally in this house right here? I guess they don't want to mess with him because he's super powerful, right? So maybe let's try talking to him. Greetings, Toffpilled. So, you're a wise old man, huh? Less of the old man, if you please. But yes, I suppose you could say that. I prefer to think of myself as a sage. So, what's a sage doing here? I've spent most of my life studying this world in which we live. I've strode through the depths of the darkest dungeons, roamed the murky jungles of Karamja, meditated on the glories of Saradomin on Intrana, and read dusty tomes in the library of Varrock. Now I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm settling here where it's peaceful. Yeah, is that why you robbed a bank, bro? It's a pity about that vampire that keeps attacking the village. At least Saradomin protects me. He's pretending to be vulnerable. Oh, please. You're not fooling anyone. I know you could probably kill the vampire if you wanted to. That's quite an exciting life you've had. Exciting? Yes, I suppose so. Now I'm here. Perhaps I could offer you the benefit of my experience and wisdom? Ooh, am I about to get XP here? Thanks. So how can you help me? Well, I imagine you've gathered up quite a lot of stuff on your travels. Things you used requests a long time ago that you don't need now. If you like, I can look through your bank and see if there's anything you can chuck away. Alternatively, you can bring items here and show show them to me. If I see that it's something you don't need, I'll let you know. I might even be willing to buy it, so you'll help me clear junk out of my bank? Yes, that's right. Or I'd be happy to chat with you about the wonders of this world. Okay, cool. Looks like we can ask him about a bunch of topics. Perhaps distant lands? Oh, geez. This guy's like a repository of information. I guess, the wise old man here was the OG RuneScape wiki. I'm not gonna read all of this out loud because I'm sure people are tired of me just narrating NPC dialogue at this point, so I'm going to consume all of this and search around for any interesting lore. But if there's anything that I come across that's really interesting, I'll mention it. So apparently there's a building called the Mage Arena where I can learn to summon the power of Saradomin himself. That's pretty freaking cool. And he says it's in the far northwest of the wilderness. I guess where the gnomes are? Okay, it's here actually. Yeah, Mage Arena I guess is something that we should eventually check out. And apparently also in the wilderness is the strongest monster in the game, known as the King Black Dragon. It's a fearsome beast with a breath that can poison you, freeze you to the ground, or incinerate you where you stand. Oh, okay, it's not even... Okay, but even more deadly is the Queen of Calphites. As if her giant mandibles of death were not enough, she also throws her spines at her foes with deadly force. She can even cast rudimentary spells. Some dark power must be protecting her, for she can block attacks using prayer, just as humans do. Oh yeah, true, I totally forgot. There are protection prayers in this game, and I think it negates like part of an attack's damage. So like if someone is hitting you with magic, then and you use protect from magic, I think you like negate half the damage or something like that. Another beast that's worthy of a special mention is the Shaikahan. It dwells in the eastern reaches of Karamja and is almost impossible to kill except with specially prepared weapons. Okay, so now we know that there are 3 bosses we should look out for: the King Black Dragon, the Calphite Queen, and the Shaikahan. He keeps mentioning some place called Intrana, which is like supposedly super peaceful, that he spent a lot of years in, so maybe that's also worth a visit. Something else that might be worth visiting, a settlement called Taibo Wanai in the middle of Karamja, where apparently the rulers and his sons are insane, and one of them is apparently into eating monkeys stuffed with seaweeds. Ew, very grotesque. Another place that we should keep track of, called Shiloh Village, that's apparently under attack by terrifying zombies. There's also a dwarven city called Keldagrim, but apparently humans are not allowed to visit, and it appears that there is a massive underground labyrinth west of Brimhaven, and it's even bigger than the caves under Taverley, which is apparently a good place for training your combat. Now, where is Taverley? It doesn't say on the map. Okay, well, I don't know where Taverley is, but eventually if we find it, we should be on the lookout for a dungeon. There is a lost city called Xanaris, which has an entrance somewhere near here, and also a place called the Abyss, where all the demons come from, it seems. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. So remember those rock golems and tree spirits I mentioned earlier? Well, it turns out they're still in the game, according to the wise old man. I just haven't encountered them yet somehow. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Like, I've chopped a lot of trees and I have not encountered a single tree spirit. Just like I suspect, they sometimes drop valuable items if you kill them. So either the dialogue here is wrong, which I doubt, or I am just extremely unlucky and they just made the events like way more rare. Another thing to keep in mind, some guy called Erev, who was like a big shot hero, left Avaraka, which I assume is modern day Varrock, in search for some strange artifact desired by the Majorat. Seems like some sort of criminal organization. Definitely worth keeping in mind that interacting with them may give us some really interesting gear. There's also some guy called Randas who is now a mindless creature in some place called the Underground Pass, which leads to Isafdar. Perhaps the Underground Pass is this dungeon right here. Oh no, it's this dungeon right here. Or I guess it's probably both of them, right? It probably goes underneath. So that's something to definitely keep in mind exploring the Underground Pass eventually. There's a place in the west called Ardoon, and it seems like it's divided into 2 cities and under the threat of some warlord, some Majorat warlord called Haziel. It seems like at some point as well there was something called the War of the Gods, and it ended with Saradomin catching a dub and Zamorak catching an L, at least according to this guy, but he seems to be a Saradomin follower, so he might be bullshitting. Let's ask him about the Majorat since he keeps mentioning it. Oh, it sounds like they're a different species entirely. One of them, the foul Zamorak, achieved godhood Dude, what? Oh, so they must be like super powerful then. Other Majorat who have been particularly active upon this plane are Haziel, you mentioned that guy earlier, Lucian, Azandra, and Zimorigal? Okay, I better write those names down. Okay, so that is a lot of lore. I'm gonna search the bookshelves to see if I can find anything more. So I think just like the dialogue that I narrated, I'm gonna do the same thing with these books. Like, I'm only gonna keep what I think are the interesting bits and then cut out the rest, because otherwise it's just gonna be an hour of me narrating dialogue, and I'm pretty sure nobody wants to hear that. Alright, so this is pretty weird. There's like a bed upstairs in this guy's room. I have an option to kick it, so I'm gonna do that and see what happens. Nothing, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and see if there's anything interesting in these books. That one's just about physics. This one was a parody of Rene Descartes' I think therefore I am. And this one's about math. Jeez. There's a book on the Bird of Evil, and once again the Majorat are mentioned, and apparently they summoned a demonic chicken from the abyss called the Evil Chicken. Now I remember the Evil Chicken. I'm pretty sure it's like a random event, so I guess that's the lore behind that random event. There's also a shrine apparently that you can visit in the fairy worlds. So there are fairies in this game. I wonder if we have to visit the Evil Chicken's shrine then in order to get a fairy ring. And this book just mentions the elder dragons, but not much about them. Okay, so that was pretty cool. I feel like I just learned a lot about this game's lore. I'm not sure how useful that's going to be in terms of doing quests and stuff, but I do just really like lore because I feel like it kind of immerses you in the game. And if anyone's actually watching these episodes, be warned that I'm probably going to be doing a lot of that. I will try to like cut it out if I feel like it's way too repetitive. The Stronghold lore I'm probably going to cut out entirely because it turned out to all basically just be a ruse for account security. So I don't really feel like that is particularly relevant to the world. But all the stuff the wise old man mentioned though, that was like really cool. Especially the stuff about the Majorat. I feel like that would be really interesting to explore. Or like the strongest bosses in the game, like the Calphite Queen and the King Black Dragon, and the one that I can't pronounce that's on Karamja. I'd be really interested to see what kind of like loot they drop and stuff. Anyways, let's try to fix this ladder here. And okay, nothing interesting happens. That's kind of unfortunate. Alright, so we've pretty much explored all the mysteries that we set out to explore at the beginning of the episode. There are obviously still a lot left, and of course there are even more now that the wise old man has just told us like a Wikipedia entry's worth of information. But I think for now, we should probably just move on to Vampire Slayer. Alright, so it is now the next day and I am back. I spent last night editing the mystery solving footage, and it turned out to be like 50 straight minutes of me talking to NPCs or reading lore from books. So I'm unfortunately going to have to cut out a lot of that stuff. Definitely a lot of the dialogue from the wise old man I'm going to have to leave out, but I'm going to keep those recordings anyways and refer to them in future episodes if they ever come up again. Anyways, it says I can start this quest by talking to Morgan at his home in Draynor Village. Now I know exactly where that is because this is actually, I'm pretty sure, the first quest I ever did in RuneScape as a kid. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I completed it, but it's the first quest I ever started in RuneScape as a kid. I just remember getting lost, walking around Lumbridge, and eventually stumbling onto Draynor Village. And it actually looks exactly like I remember it, minus these little wire things. I don't know what those are, but I remember walking into this exact house when I was like 8 years old and starting this quest. So a lot of this I think is going to be familiar to me. Anyways, let's see if we can solve Morgan's vampire problem for him. Could it be? A bold adventurer, please. You must help us. What is it? What's the problem? It's the evil vampire Count Draynor. For too long, he's terrorized us from his manor to the north. Someone finally needs to put a stop to him once and for all. Start the Vampire Slayer quest? Hell yeah. Sounds like a job for me. Where should I start? Oh, thank goodness. I've been hoping this day would come for a long time, so I've made sure to do my research. I've heard of a retired vampire hunter called Jack Harlow who lives in Varrock. If you speak to him, I'm sure he'll be able to help. I hear he's a bit of an old soak these days, so he spends most of his time in the Blue Moon Inn. What else can you tell me about this vampire? All sorts of things. I've studied the legends extensively. Wait, legends? What do you mean, legends? The legends of Count Draynor. It's said that long ago, he traveled here from dark lands in the east. He built Draynor Manor, and from there he began his campaign of darkness against our peaceful lands. Okay, so That's why the manor looks so freaking weird all the time, with all the weird, creepy chairs and odd moving paintings. But it seems like the professor lives there too, right? So that must mean he works for Count Draynor or something. Long ago. If this has been going on for so long, why has no one tried to stop him? Yeah, wise old man, why aren't you doing your job? Many have tried. All have failed. Vampires are not killed easily. Only those with the right skills and equipment have any hope of slaying one. Like this Dr. Harlow. Homecome. Typo there. How come he's never tried to kill this Count Draynor? I'm not sure. Perhaps he was too busy killing other vampires? Something seems amiss here. Are you sure you're telling me everything? Well, it is true that some claim that Count Draynor hasn't left his manor for generations now. So he's not actually attacked the village? No. At least, not for a long time. He used to, though. When? Well, not since I've moved here, at least. Seems kind of odd that the vampire hasn't done anything to the village for generations. Now we're about to wake him up from his slumber and potentially cause a catastrophe to all of these villagers. So if there's no actual danger, why are you so keen for someone to kill this vampire? Yeah, it's a great question. Because what if he does start attacking again? Are we meant to just live our lives constantly fearing the future? Doesn't really sound like anyone is living in fear apart from you. More fool them. Count Draynor has cast a shadow over Draynor Village for generations. They even named the place after him for Saradomin's sake. Even if people here don't realize it, we will never be at peace until we know he's dead. I mean, if you're so sure, I guess I'll go and see this Dr. Harlow. Thank you, brave adventurer. Alright, it is time to go to Varrock and talk to Dr. Harlow. Another thing that's kind of burned into my mind is exactly where Dr. Harlow is, and that's because the inn in which he resided in was a pretty good training spot because there was like a Black Knight there and he had a lot of HP and stuff. But yeah, anyways, he is just northeast of Varrock, right over here, right next to the wilderness ditch. So we're gonna head over there and see if he has any useful advice on how to deal with Count Draynor. I also noticed a couple NPCs here in Varrock that I've never seen before, or at least I don't remember as a kid. So this one, I guess I can tag her. Oh, that's a little bit immersion breaking. How do I untag her? There we go. This one, Nevet. I don't think I've ever seen Eliza or Noah or Alina. It looks like they're part of a quest, potentially, called Children of the Sun, which I can't actually do because I'm not a member. But yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind for later. It's really weird seeing this ditch here because all my memories of this area as a kid didn't involve this thing. So I quit playing shortly after this came out, I think. So yeah, it's just kind of it's odd, to be honest. Okay, well, they've still got the Black Knight here, so that hasn't changed. I don't see Dr. Harlow, though. I was pretty sure he was on the first floor of this place back in the day. Maybe I'm misremembering and he's actually on the second floor? Okay, it doesn't seem like he's here. Just some guy called Jonathan. Am I misremembering where Dr. Harlow is? No, there's no way. I know it was like basically 20 years ago, but this is one of those things I'm super confident about. So no, they must have moved him. Let's talk to the bartender. Maybe he knows something. Can I help you? Any hints on where I can go adventuring? Ooh, now let me see. Well, there is the Varrock sewers. Oh, f*** off. Okay, it doesn't look like he has anything interesting to say. What about Ilyas White? Maybe he knows where Dr. Harlow is? Okay, so he's looking for some ancient race in the desert, but we have to not be poor in order to actually embark on that mission. So, okay, I guess he's not here anymore, so they must have moved him. I'm super confident about this one. Alright, well, he's not in this bar, and there's only one other bar I know of in Varrock, and it's across the street from the sword shop, so maybe he's in that bar. You know, now that I think about it, it makes sense why they would move him, I guess. I mean, for like lore reasons, it makes more sense for him to be at that shady bar near the wilderness to kind of like recover from his PTSD involving vampires, but I suppose they probably didn't want him to be at a bar right next to a place where new players could get lured by dickheads trying to kill them for their gear gear. So maybe that's why they moved him to the other bar in Varrock. Or maybe there's like some secret floor that I just didn't see in the other bar. So check this out. I never noticed this before, but there's a random event in the game where some guy throws rotten tomatoes at you. And I always thought it was an instance, but it seems like it's actually a physical location within the city of Varrock. So it's kind of interesting because I wonder if during the random event, other players can see you getting pelted with rotten tomatoes. All right, there's Dr. Harlow. So they did move the guy. Buy me a drink, please. What's with NPCs in this game and constantly asking you to buy them a drink? I need your help dealing with a vampire. A vampire, you say? Not just any vampire. Count Draynor. Draynor? Well, buy me a beer first. Are you sure you've not had enough? Huh? No, I don't think so. Now, buy us a beer. All right, fuck it. There's something a little bit messed up about having to enable a man's alcohol addiction just to solve a quest. You know, I'm not super convinced that teaching young impressionable minds to plaster strangers with alcohol so that you can get what you want out of them is really the brightest idea, Jagex. But, you know, when in Rome, what can I do you for? A glass of your finest ale, please, so I can help this man drown his sorrows. No problemo, that'll be 2 coins. Alright, sick. Let's just use the beer on Dr. Harlow. Cheers, matey. Now, about Count Draynor. Yes, Count Draynor, the evil, nasty vampire that no one's ever seen. Every now and then, some adventure, they go and try to kill him, but none of them ever comes back. You want to have a go? Then don't be like them. Be prepared. Vampires, they're so hot, it's hard to kill. Some maybe impossible. So how do I make sure I'm prepared? Most vampires regenerate. You usually need to stop them. I know a few ways, but the easiest is a steak. Here, you can have this one. Why is he carrying a steak on him still? I thought this guy was retired. Take that to Draynor Manor, find the vampire inside and show him what for. When he's weak, use a hammer to drive the steak in. Most general stores have them. Oh, and you should also take some garlic with you. Vampires don't like garlic. Garlic? I'll see if Morgan knows where I can get some. Alright, cool. So you were once a proper vampire hunter? Yes, I traveled their homelands to the east, Mauritania. I killed lots of vampires over there. What was the most dangerous vampire you killed? Dangerous? Oh, well, I never really killed any of the dangerous ones. Why not? Can't. They're too strong. Nothing can hurt them. Oh, but what if Count Draynor's like that? You don't get many vampires around here, actually. Pretty much none, actually. There's a special magic that stops them from coming over here. Any that are here, they're weak and trapped. So how come you've never tried to kill him yourself? Why bother? He's not killed anyone in a long time, so no one really cares about him much, apart from that odd adventurer that's looking to prove themselves. I see, fair enough. Okay, so he says that the vampire homeland is in Mauritania, to the east. Let's see if we can find it on the map. Oh, well, I mean, this place looks creepy as hell, dude. The Haunted Woods. I mean, I'm guessing they're there. I mean, there's even a place called Castle Draken, which just sounds vampire-y. So maybe that'll be another one of our long-term goals. Visit the vampire homeland to the east. I bet you they're really powerful, too, if pretty much nothing can kill them, according to Dr. Harlow. So I'm going to head back to Draynor Village now and probably gear up. It looks like we need to get some garlic as well. And apparently Morgan knows how to get some. So yeah, we're going to hit him up and see if he has any spare cloves lying around. Dude, honestly, as the series is progressing, I'm feeling more and more confident about my ability to finish all the free-to-play quests. We're already like halfway through, or almost halfway through, and I'm super excited to explore members' content, considering I feel like a lot of the lore that we've uncovered isn't available to free-to-play players, or at least I don't think so. Like, for example, this area to the east that Dr. Harlow was talking about, Mauritania, I'm pretty sure I can't access it as a free-to-play player, because as a kid, I remember there was like a gate I could never get past through in the east, and I think it was this gate, because I was a free-to-play player. And I think to the west, I'm pretty sure this gate blocks you from going anywhere beyond this point. And if you think about it, that's like a tiny portion of the map. Like, I mean, free-to-play players basically don't really get access to much, relatively speaking. I do still feel like there's a lot of content in this game as a free-to-play free-to-play player. I mean, like, the lore in this game goes deep, man. Luckily, I can explore a lot of that even as a free-to-play player, so it's not too bad, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what membership has in store for us. Alright, time to talk to Morgan. Adventurer, has Count Draynor been dealt with yet? I'm still working on it, but I could use some garlic to help me out. Yes, I heard vampires didn't like garlic. I keep some in the cupboard upstairs, just in case Count Draynor comes and tries anything. This guy's really paranoid. Okay, cool. Is that his wife? Don't mind me, miss. I'm just going to open your cupboard in your private bedroom and take some garlic. I'll be on my way now. I'm gonna close the door for him just so that he feels a little bit safer. It's probably a good idea to bring something better than chicken to the Count Draynor fight, so I'm gonna cook up all these salmon that during my fishing leveling. Now I was hoping to unlock smoldering fires before cooking these things because I assume that it reduces the burn rate, but it's okay. This will do for now. Also, I think this is like some sort of eternal fire, which is pretty cool, and there's also some guy called the Friendly Forester. I'll probably talk to him after the quest is done because he just looks pretty interesting. Plus, I don't think I've ever seen him outside of the random event, so I'm pretty curious as to why he's here in Draynor Village. I also just noticed that there's this thing in the game called the Activity Advisor, which definitely wasn't in the game before. In fact, now that I think about it, none of these things were in the game before. Like, all of these things you had to check either using like the stat tab right here or the settings tab for like things like run energy. So I guess it's pretty convenient that they've added that into the game. I am tempted to use the Activity Advisor to kind of optimize the playthrough a little bit, but I feel like that would kind of kill the joy for me. So I'm going to avoid using this if I can. Oh look, someone else is doing the Ernest the Chicken quest, I'm pretty sure, and they're trying the exact same strategy that I tried and looking through every single wardrobe. It's crazy that I'm so good at this game. I've basically changed the quest meta. Oh wait, I don't even have a hammer. Oh how do I get out of here? I'm an idiot.
2 very boring minutes later.
So I'm pretty sure that when I was a kid, I didn't actually manage to kill Count Draynor because, I don't know, I just didn't think of the power of bringing food to fights. But, you know, things have obviously changed now. Much better geared up than I was when I was a kid, probably. I also just have a ton of salmon, so I'm reasonably confident that we can take this guy on. All right, let's give this dude the hands. Oh, dude, he's weak as hell, man. What? He's almost dead already. I don't think I even need food to kill this guy. Seriously, how did I not kill him as a kid? Oh, that was ridiculous. What? And I got 4,825 attack XP? Dude, I'm almost 30 attack from that. I did not need this much food at all. I don't think I even used my prayer. That was kind of anticlimactic, to be honest. Wow. Just wow. Seriously, how did I not kill him as a kid? Oh, maybe I didn't use garlic. Okay, well, that's now the second Slayer quest where I walked in thinking that the boss was going to be really, really difficult, and they died in like 10 seconds. So I wonder if the next Slayer quest in the timeline, Dragon Slayer, is also kind of deceptively easy. This one says I need 45 combat and level 33 magic and 32 quest points, which kind of translates to every free-to-play quest done. So I guess this is probably going to be the last free-to-play quest that I take on. But yeah, I do think we have enough footage for an entire episode. I don't really want to stop playing, to be honest, because I just logged on. So I think what I'm going to do is continue filming and then edit up to this point for an entire episode. I think for the next episode, what I want to do is take on the Restless Ghost, since we're dealing with undead things, and maybe also Witch's Potion, because we're dealing with Halloween-y things. So that kind of fits the theme. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop the edit here, and I will see y'all next time.